Well, hi there, greetings and thank you for joining me today. I hope wherever you are, life is treating you well. Longevity, let's have a chat about things that last a long time. Now, I'm sure wherever you are in the world, you'll appreciate something good that lasts a long time, whether that's a favourite tool, a perfect cup of coffee, a well-prepared meal, you name it really. I think we can all appreciate something that lasts a long time. And to that end, I have quite a few things, or have had quite a few things that have lasted a long time, and I'd like to highlight one of those things today. Now, back when I was about 20, I purchased not my first multimeter, and for those who are not aware what a multimeter is, it's a tool that measures a range of different things. So in the case of an electrician's multimeter, it can measure voltage, resistance, continuity, current if you've got a good one, and to that end, I'd had a few of them up to that point, cheap and cheerful, useful things for my electronics hobby at the time and for maintaining the first cars I had. But this one was different. Now, those who are about my age will remember a shop that we had in the UK and over in the States, and I think the rest of the world as well, called RadioShack, known in the UK as Tandy. And our local Tandy in Solihull Hollows at the time, they had a range of wonderful stereos, computers and so on, but I didn't go there for that. That was out of my price range. I went there for the tools. And back when I was 20, I bought a talking multimeter. I had a fascination for talking things at the time, talking watch, talking calculator, all a bit rubbish really, but useful for those who need, those who are visually impaired. But all of those things can be irritating very quickly, but not the talking multimeter, because you're only going to use it sparingly. If you're working in a tight space, such as the engine bay on an old Austin Mini, or many other places, many other vehicles where there's tight spaces and only room for your arm, you might want to get in there and measure a voltage across two wires, two terminals, and you can't see the readout. Not so with the talking multimeter. This thing will read it out for you, either continuously or at the press of a button on the probe. Can you see the probe? Oh, there it is. It's kind of next to the melted blob there. Now, as you can see, this has taken a pounding. This is my late multimeter. It just stopped working. Now when you turn it on, it gives you a not very healthy looking reading. Now, it might be that the battery's just packed up and I need to take that out, but it stopped working in the middle of a job the other day, and I thought, you know what, maybe it's time to put this one to rest. Let it go, Matt, let it go. So I thought, okay, let's get on TEMU and get ourselves a new multimeter. So let me show you the three multimeters that I purchased. They're all a little bit different, slightly different price points. So there, let's have a look. We've got the biggest one, which is the ANENG 6133 3-in-1 digital multimeter. That's that one there. £14.06, which is a bit of a particular price, isn't it? But allegedly the normal price is about £65. That's not bad, ignoring shipping costs, because if you order enough, of course, you get shipping for free from TEMU. Certainly if you're in the UK. Sorry if you're in the States. No, that's a sore point at the moment. Let's have a look at the one I bought, which is all on the same order, so it's exciting, Next, we've got this one, which is a little smaller, and it's the ANENG M113 mini digital multimeter. It's smaller, and this one, normal price about £42.13, but apparently this was reduced here to £5.01. So not bad. Similar range of features, mind you, and then the cheap and cheerful one, not by much, mind you, is this one, which is not from ANENG. This one's from does not say, but it's a DT-830B digital multimeter. There it is, and with the rotary switch on the front, which is kind of traditional. This one, £9.36 normally, down to £4.57. Of course, if you believe that normal price, then you'll believe anything. But it's still a very keen price, isn't it? Less than a fiver. Way less than a fiver for this. Came with a battery as well. So, which is great. The other two did not come with a battery, but they use AAA cells, 2 AAAs, so it doesn't cost you much to keep them running. Now, how long they last on a set of batteries, well, time will tell. But I like these things. They tend to last. You don't use them too much, but they're all so very useful when you've got a job to do, an electrical job, that is. So let's have a look. Let's turn the camera around and have a look on the bench. So do forgive the clutter in the background. I've got this bench cleared as quickly as possible for this demonstration. So yeah, let's have a look at the first one. So the DT-830B. Yeah, generic, no manufacturer named. And I guess you could have these made to your own specifications if you can contact the producer, have your own name put on it if you so wish. But yeah, I like it. Comes in a sturdy box, as you can tell, with all the specs on the back. Measures DC voltage, AC voltage, current, resistance. It's got a diode tester, a temperature probe testing. I think you need a separate probe for that one. And a transistor tester. Many's the time I've had a questionable transistor that I've wanted to test, but no way to really test it. Not easily. And this feature is wonderful to have in a multimeter. Let me show you what it looks like. I shall retain the box because it's good to protect your kit, otherwise it gets covered in dust and who knows what. There's the meter itself, which is sturdy. Comes with battery already built in. A nice satisfying clicky switch. You can see here, I'll try and focus in on that. Try. It's got the place where you plug in your transistors to test. I guess if you've got a larger transistor, you might have to make up some leads in order to do the testing, but still, it's nice to have the feature, isn't it? It comes with 2 leads, and there are 3 sockets here, which probably, yeah, there we go, 3 sockets, 2 leads, depending on what you're doing with them. We've got the black lead, which goes in the lower one here, black lead, and then for things like regular voltage readings, the red lead goes here. The top position is for current readings and readings over a certain value. Let me just set it to voltage. I believe that's on voltage. It's pretty good. Show you. I've got the battery here from the bicycle. Those who have not seen my bicycle motor project, you might want to check that out. It also goes into how I made this battery box. It stores 14 volt batteries, not quite 14 volts, but they're together in series. So this gives me a voltage to test, and if you get them the right way around, I forget which polarity is, gives you a, oh no, maybe not. Let's try setting it slightly differently. There we go, that's the proper setting. Just over 40 volts on this one. It's pretty good. We'll use a standard battery to test all 3 multimeters to demonstrate them so you get an idea of what works. The wires are a little flimsy. I don't know how long they will last, but you can't complain for the sub £5 price point, can you? They do feel nice at the plug end, mind you. The problem with having wires that are detachable is you often will break them on the manipulation of the wires. The multimeter that I had before, the talking multimeter, had detachable probes, and I was forever having to resolder the blessed things. Quite irritating. These are not maintainable. These are the wires already bonded into the plastic there, so hopefully that won't break off. But still, they are flimsy and, well, you know, you pay your money, you take your choice, don't you? But the meter itself, it's a good sturdy case. It's got a good weight in the hand, easy to read dials, easy to read screen, even in low light. There's no backlight, but you know, again, beggars can't be choosers, and it's a very capable tool for the money. Really nice. So if you're in the market for one of these, you might want to check it out. Also in the box, worth mentioning, is a manual in several languages, the main one being English here, and then there is a version of it, albeit a cheap one, in all manner of languages, from European ones to what you can see here. It's pretty comprehensive, so that's nice. And whilst it is intuitive to use, it's lovely to have a little bit of a guide with any tool, just in case. Let's move on. Now, of course, it is worth saying there's an awful lot of features on these devices that could be tested. I'm not going to do one of those comprehensive videos. If you'd like to see that, do let me know in the comments. I'd love to hear from you. But for now, I'm just going to use the multimeters to test a voltage, a standard voltage. That way we'll get an idea of how they compare. I know what the voltage is. It is 40 volts pretty much. It varies a bit depending on the charge on the batteries inside. But it's a good way to demonstrate these things. As for the transistor testing and the diode testing, I don't have any of those components to hand right now. I've got to get those on order. I've got a few jobs I want to do, but that's for later in the year. Or maybe I'll return to this just to show, or you'll see this part of new videos. Let's move on then. Next, let's have a look at the ANENG M113, smallest multimeter of the bunch here, and its main reason for being, as far as I'm concerned, its main reason for being in my toolkit is because it can detect a mains wire, sometimes under plaster, sometimes direct in front of you, and can save me from touching a mains wire that might be damaged. I'm going to make sure the power's off before I touch it. It's a good feature. It also is quite intuitive. It guesses what you want. It decides whether you're trying to measure voltage, resistance, continuity, and so on. So that's also a good feature. So it feels nice in the hand. It's quite light. One irritating feature is this screw that you have to remove before you can change the batteries. I guess that's so somebody doesn't pinch your batteries if you're on site with other, well, maybe not so trustworthy workers. Yeah. So, but a small gripe. It's really nice and sturdy. Feels great in the pocket. Comes with manuals in many languages. And if your language isn't covered, well, you can always use Google Translate to translate it for you, can't you? It's not a deal breaker as far as I'm concerned. Some nice sturdy cables with it. These are certainly better quality than the ones that came with the first multimeter. Just the two of them. One goes in the COM, which I think is this one, and one goes in the input, which is the red one. As you can see, it's got a nice clear screen with hardly any buttons to worry about, just the on and off, the button you press if you want to test whether you've got a live wire in front of you, and the one for range hold, so you can take a reading, press the button and hold it if you've got more than two pairs of hands available, I guess, and you can hold a range, so you can take a reading and take it to someone to show them, which is quite helpful, or get the multimeter to somewhere where you can properly see it. It's not backlit, but that screen is really, really clear, isn't it? Let me just prop it up there and see what we can do with this. Just measure the voltage on the battery. It's having a go. I'm not able to push down. Oh, come on, there we go. It's a bit variable. But yeah, 39.8 volts. It's yeah. I've been messing with this battery. It was 40 when I started, but gives you a clue, doesn't it? Nice, like it. As for accuracy, I couldn't tell you, but I'll come back to it, of course, to report on how well it performs in regular use. Let me just take out the leads because they make an awful lot of noise. Now, without the leads, you can take it to a suspected mains wire, such as, oh well, it's not suspected, it's a known mains wire, for example, for demonstration purposes, the bench power and mains power over there. You can see I've got the router plugged in over there. Press the button and it goes into ACU mode, and you can go over and the beep tells you you've got a mains wire there, you've got voltage. It doesn't tell you what voltage. That would be kind of nice if it did, but knowing there's power in the line, and if you're dealing with an unknown wire in a house, upstairs in the loft, and you find a wire with power going through it, you know better than to touch it without turning off the power to the whole house, don't you? So it's a life-saving feature, really worth having in your toolkit. Now, I would say on the matters of safety, this is not like a stud finder or something like that. There are other tools out there. Audi does a good range of these sort of things. Although my stud finder didn't last for 5 minutes, though, you may get a better experience. It's not like a stud finder or something that gives you an accurate idea of where exactly that wire is. It is more general. If you're pointing this at a cable, it's got a range of about this distance, really. You're within that distance of a wire, but it doesn't tell you exactly where. So don't go using something like this to work out where to drill or not to drill. If you've got power going through that cable, you turn off the power and you make sure that you know where the wire is some other way. I don't know how that would be. As I say, get yourself a stud finder, but you at least know when a wire in front of you is live. That's what this is for. So like I say, really, really well worth having in your toolkit, although it's not going to be the only tool you use. Yeah? Okay, so last but not least, I think it's the ANENG flagship, but I could be wrong. It's certainly got a lot of features. Again, comes in a nice sturdy box. It's the ANENG 613. As you can see on the box, it's got a number of features which are useful to the average DIY electronics enthusiast. So we've got measuring current on the amps or milliamps, a diode feature, the frequency testing, hertz measuring. You've also got resistance, capacitance for testing your dodgy capacitors, and of course voltage. It will also measure temperature and humidity, and has a built-in clock and an alarm clock. So you get it out the package, you can see it comes in this lovely case. You've got the manuals in a variety of languages. The big case here is useful because it protects its massive screen. Let me show you this. It's gorgeous. It's quite lightweight, even with the batteries installed. The screen is a little directional, but you get that with a lot of the large cheap screens. But it's easy to read, you can see, can't you? It's nice and clear, I like it. It's off at the moment, so let me just turn it on. As you can see, it's just great. It detects, like the other one, it detects what you want and gives you its best guess as to what the measurement should be. Voltage, resistance, capacitance, whatever. You can play around with it though. You've got the temperature, which can be in Fahrenheit or Celsius, and of course humidity, which is 71% in this room apparently. Make of that what you will. It doesn't feel that humid, but maybe it is. The alarm clock feature works wonderfully. It's good as a bedside alarm clock if need be, with a kickstand there. And its backlight feature is lovely as well. Glows in the dark nicely. Makes it easy to read in the darkest depths of an engine bay, or in the garage at night, or when you're working under a vehicle where the light isn't brilliant. Really good there. The probes are highest quality, it feels. They're really quite nice. They come with wee covers as well, so you can protect them. Those might get lost, but still, you know, it's nice to have. They do make use of this sticky feeling rubber, you know, for better grip. Now that rubber, in my experience, doesn't last too long, and it is susceptible to going gooey if it gets oil on it, but you're just going to protect it, aren't you? You're going to keep it safe and dry and not on your dashboard in full sunlight, because obviously that will cause these to deteriorate. Now it's really best used as a desk device. Let me just see. Ooh. Oh, it's got a range hold as well. Let me just pop it. Turn on the light again. The light goes off after a short while. I don't know whether you can set that to longer periods, but let's just measure it. There we go, 40.0, yeah, runs around a bit, but 40.03 volts on the battery. So it works really well. Nice and easy to use. I can see me using it quite a lot. This is going to stay, I think, in my workbench. Anyway, so a really nice device. Well, thank you for watching today. Those are my 3 latest toys, so to speak. So I shall report on how well they do in due course. If they fail within an unreasonable timescale, I'll let you know as well. I think a good tool should last a long time, whether it's something complicated or something more simple, like a pair of pliers. Everything should be worth keeping. Anyway, thank you for watching. Have a great day. See you soon. Bye for now.